There are only 2 NFL games in Week 15 between teams that the Upshots playoff simulator gives a 50% chance or greater of making the playoffs, but there are 3 crucial matchups. The Chiefs and the Chargers will meet in a game that could decide the AFC West. The Rams and the Seahawks will battle for the NFC West, and a Sunday afternoon matchup between the Steelers and the Patriots could clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs for Pittsburgh. Here are our picks against the spread. Last week's record against the spread, 11-5 overall record, 107-95-6 Patriots at Steelers, 4:25 p.m., CBS line. Patriots by 3. Jerry Rice never won a Most Valuable Player award. Neither did Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Chris Carter, or Steve Largent. No wide receiver has ever been picked as the N.F.L's best player, an award that has gone to 41 quarterbacks, 18 running backs, 1 defensive tackle, 1 linebacker, and even a kicker, Mark Moseley of the Redskins, in the strike-shortened 1982 season. But receivers may finally get their due with Antonio Brown of the Steelers, 11-2, clinched AFC North. Brown leads the NFL in receptions and receiving yards, and has been the catalyst for a Pittsburgh team that has surged to the top of the standings in the AFC. He has been especially good in his last 4 games, with 39 catches for 627 yards and 6 touchdowns. If he keeps up his pace, he will finish the season with 1,857 receiving yards, which would fall short of Johnson's record of 1,964 but be the 3rd most receiving yards recorded in a single season. Benefiting Brown to be the first receiver to win an MVP award is the lack of an obvious choice at other positions. Among quarterbacks, the Eagles' Carson Wentz was a favorite until he was lost for the season last Sunday. The Seahawks' Russell Wilson should be considered. The Patriots' Tom Brady is always in the mix, and the Saints' Drew Brees may get some attention, even if his team's resurgence can largely be credited to its dynamic running game. But some of Brown's peers have been in awe of him. Helping matters considerably would be a win over the Patriots, 10-3, who have a greater than 99% chance of making the playoffs, according to the playoff simulator. Beating New England would give Pittsburgh home field advantage throughout the playoffs and 2 meaningless games to help it get players healthy for them. Pittsburgh is still hobbled by the loss of linebacker Ryan Shazier to spinal surgery, but the Steelers proved last week that they could succeed without him, thanks to Brown and the offense, which has struggled against lesser team but seems to do well against tough competition. Pick: Steelers Rams at Seahawks, 4:05 p.m., Fox line, Seahawks by 2 for most of the season. The NFC West has been dominated by the Rams, 9-4, 83% playoff chance. Quarterback Jared Goff's rapid maturation and a great season by running back Todd Gurley have made their offense something to fear. That has helped the defense find consistency, since it is spending less time on the field. For the Seahawks, 8-5, 55%, the ride has not been as easy. Among other problems, they lost Richard Sherman and Kem Chancellor to season-ending injuries and struggled to develop a consistent running game. Their record was helped by a favorable schedule, but also by Russell Wilson's penchant for keeping them in games they had no business being in. Seattle's troubles may be forgiven if it beats Los Angeles at home, which would move it into a tie for the division lead. Neither team has an advantage in terms of Week 16 and 17 opponents, so a win would give Seattle about a 50-50 shot at a division title. That said, the Rams have Robert Woods, the team's best wide receiver, back, and if Jared Goff can deal with the crowd noise at CenturyLink Field, he should carve up Seattle's injury-depleted secondary with passes to Woods, Sammy Watkins and the rookie standout Cooper Kupp. Pick: Rams-Chargers at Chiefs, 8:25 p.m. Saturday, NFL Network line, Chargers by 1 AFTER 4 games, the Chiefs, 7-6, 40%, had a 4-game lead over the Chargers, 7-6, 69%. Their seasons have gone in different directions since then, and San Diego is the road favorite with a chance to steal the AFC West. Because it's on a Saturday night, this game might receive less attention than it deserves, but the Chargers are coming in with a 4-game winning streak, and the winner should be the favorite to win the division, based on coming opponents. Pick: Chargers-Bengals at Vikings, 1 p.m., CBS line, Vikings by 10.5. There are few coaches as familiar with each other as Marvin Lewis of the Bengals, 5-8, 99%. Zimmer was previously Lewis's defensive coordinator, and they have known each other since the 1980s. In their first game against each other as head coaches, Zimmer is at an almost comical advantage. A loss last week put Minnesota behind Philadelphia for the top spot in the NFC, but a manageable schedule and Carson Wentz's injury could open the door for the Vikings to get back to that or, at the very least, get a first-round bye. The Vikings have enough players on the injury report to make a double-digit spread too high to pick them, but they should win. Pick: Bengals-Packers at Panthers, 1 p.m., Fox line, Panthers by 3. Aaron Rodgers, sidelined since he broke his collarbone in Week 6, is being thrown right into the deep end, with the Packers, 7-6, 9%, clinging to a tiny chance of making the playoffs. In a similar situation last season, when the Packers essentially needed to win out, Rodgers delivered, and his history suggests no one should bet against him. A game on the road against the Panthers, 9-4, 79%, is one Green Bay should lose, but in Rodgers' career, it is the type of game he tends to win, and in the most exciting way. Pick: Packers-Eagles at Giants, 1 p.m., Fox pick: Eagles by 7.5. The Eagles, 11-2, clinched NFC East, were Super Bowl favorites, but with Carson Wentz out for the season it is hard to know what to make of them. Nick Foles is one of the better backups in the NFL, but until he has been truly tested in Philadelphia's offense, it is an open question as to whether the Eagles are still among the N.F.C's best. Coach Steve Spagnuolo of the Giants, 2-11, eliminated, said that Foles was a good enough passer to hold his own, but that people might be focusing too much on the passing game of a team that has Garrett Blount, J.A.J., and Corey Clement at running back. I don't think it's going to change all that much for us because you've got to stop that run game, Spagnuolo told reporters. It really didn't matter who was handing it off. Pick: Eagles-Jets at Saints, 1 p.m., CBS pick: Saints by 1.5. The Saints, 9-4, 91%, lost last week, and have dropped 2 of their last 3, but it is probably not yet time to worry. A 3-point loss can be chalked up to playing on the road and to a concussion forcing Alvin Kamara out of the game, but now they will be home. Kamara has returned and they have a soft opponent in the Jets, 5-8, 1%. The Jets were fairly entertaining in recent weeks, with Josh McCown airing it out and being rewarded for his aggressiveness, but he is out for the remainder of the season with a broken hand, and the team is left with a choice of Bryce Petty or Christian Hackenberg. Regardless of which Jets quarterback receives more playing time, the Saints should win, even if the point spread is too large to pick them. Pick, Jets Cowboys at Raiders, 8:30 p.m., NBC pick, Cowboys by 3-1 would mistake the defense of the Raiders, 6-7, 5%, for that of the Jaguars or Vikings, but it represents more of a challenge than the Cowboys, 7-6, 6%, have faced in either of the last 2 weeks. Dallas scored 68 points in those games, which indicates the offense has adjusted to life without Ezekiel Elliott, but it is not clear how much that was helped by inferior competition. Helping matters for Dallas is Sean Lee, the team's standout linebacker, who recently returned from an injury. If DeMarcus Lawrence can put consistent pressure on Derek Carr, and Lee can take care of the middle of the field, the Cowboys' improving secondary should shut down Oakland's vertical threats. Pick, Cowboys-Texans at Jaguars, 1 p.m., Fox pick, Jaguars by 10.5. The Jaguars, 9-4, greater than 99%, have clinched the franchise's first winning season since 2007, and can clinch a playoff berth with a win this week. They could clinch even if they lose or tie should they get help from various teams. There is no reason their success should stop anytime soon. They will face teams with a combined record of 15-24 in the final weeks. First up are the Texans, 4-9, 1%, who do not present much of a challenge. Justifying an enormous point spread with a volatile offense led by Blake Bortles and Leonard Fournette is difficult, but the Jaguars' defense is just that good. Pick, Jaguars-Titans at 4-9 ERS, 4:25 p.m., CBS pick, 4-9 ERS by 2. IFU had told fans of the 4-9 ERS, 3-10, eliminated, a few weeks ago that the team would be favored at home against the potentially playoff-bound Titans, 8-5, 83%, there would have been some good laughs had. But that is the effect Jimmy Garoppolo has had on San Francisco since he took over as starting quarterback. He is 2-0 since a trade freed him from his apprenticeship in New England, but it may be premature to expect the 4-9 ERS, who have 10 wins over the last 3 seasons, to be favorites against a team that has 8 this year. Pick, Titans-Ravens at Browns, 1 p.m., CBS line, Ravens by 7. Beyond the career revival of Josh Gordon, which could end at any time given the troubled wide receivers past, there is not much reason to watch the Browns, 0-13, eliminated. In the last 2 seasons, they have gone a combined 1-28, and they have not even been making things competitive, with just a 3-10 record in terms of beating the point spread as the underdog. The Ravens, 7-6, 69%, are battling it out with several other teams for the A.F.C.'s second wildcard spot, and the energy involved in that alone should be enough to get them past Cleveland. Pick, Ravens-Dolphins at Bills, 1 p.m., CBS line, N/A Tyrod Taylor appears ready to return from a knee injury, and that is great news for the Bills, 7-6, 25%, because Taylor's backup, Nathan Peterman, was in the league's concussion protocol during the week. The Bills seemingly need to win at least 2 of their 3 remaining games to have a chance at beating out Baltimore and the various other teams in the mix for a wild card spot, and since one of the 3 games is against New England, Buffalo's best bet would be to win both games it has left against the Dolphins, 6-7, 11%. Pick, Bills Cardinals at Redskins, 1 p.m., Fox line, Redskins by 4 coach Bruce Arians of the Cardinals, 6-7, 1%, raised a few eyebrows during the week when he compared Blaine Gabbert's intelligence on the field to Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck's. Arians, who coached both of those quarterbacks, said, "Yeah, he's up there. To play at this level in 7 offenses is not easy, and he's had success, especially in this offense. But yet, he's up there with those guys mentally." Gabbert, 28, has an 11-33 career record as a starter in 7 seasons, and a passer rating of 72.4. Manning had 11 or more wins in a season 11 times. The Redskins, 5-8, eliminated, have a worse record than Arizona, but despite Gabbert's intelligence, they should be favored at home. Pick, Redskins Bears at Lions, 4:30 p.m. Saturday, NFL Network line, Lions by 5.5. The Lions, 7-6, 16%, ended a 2-game losing streak with a win over lowly Tampa Bay, but it was likely too little too late, as Detroit's playoff hopes had all but vanished. There is some NFC North pride at stake against the Bears, 4-9, eliminated, but considering this is an afternoon game on a Saturday, they could just not play it and insist that they did. Pick, Lions Broncos at Colts, 8:25 p.m. Thursday, NBC and NFL Network line, Broncos by 2.5. Somehow, the only game in Week 15 between 2 eliminated teams is one of the 4 that will be played in prime time. It is not like Thursday Night Football is known for its quality games, but when the fan bases of both the Broncos, 4-9, and the Colts, 3-10, would most likely prefer a loss to improve their draft position, it does not make for a compelling game. Here's something to watch. Frank Gore is 59 yards short of his 12th consecutive season with 1,000 or more yards from scrimmage. Emmitt Smith holds the record with 13. Getting those 59 yards against Denver's defense may be difficult. Pick, Broncos Falcons at Buccaneers, 8:30 p.m., ESPN line, Falcons by 6.5. The Falcons, 8-5, 61%, can capture the NFC South Division title if they win their 3 remaining games, but they could easily fall into the trap of looking beyond this game against the Buccaneers, 4-9, eliminated, to crucial matchups in Weeks 16 and 17 against New Orleans and Carolina. There is no doubt that Atlanta should be favored to win, especially considering Julio Jones's tremendous game against them in Week 11, but a spread of 6.5 points on the road is fairly aggressive, and a good effort by Tampa Bay could keep things closer than that. Pick, Buccaneers.